Okay, so apparently Iran is threatening to drone strike California. That's new. That sounds like fun, I guess.
Warning of possible Iranian drone attacks on our homeland. A new alert reviewed by ABC News revealing Iran's aspirations to conduct a.
I mean, ain't much left over there to bomb with that bitch catching on fire every couple years, but I mean, I guess.
Surprise attack specifically against unspecified targets in California. The FBI saying it's warned police departments across the Golden State now of strikes by unmanned aerial vehicles or drones as tensions rise in the Middle East. Let's get straight to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Kontersky. Aaron, what are you learning?
We've reviewed an alert that came within the last couple of weeks, Kira, just recently from the FBI.
The last couple of weeks. So does that mean that, like, this had nothing to do with the war? Like, I'm very confused about this. I thought this is something.
No, Interstellar's a different movie. Different movie. Interstellar is, I don't remember specifically, but I think Interstellar's that one with that guy and that girl. That's a different movie. Interstellar. No? Is it Interstellar? No, maybe it is Interstellar. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe I'm wrong. Huh. Maybe it is Interstellar. Maybe you're right. It's got like the farmhouse or whatever, or like the bookcase where he's on the other side and he's trapped or whatever. Maybe that is Interstellar.
That developed very recently, but apparently it happened a couple of weeks ago.
To law enforcement agencies up and down the California coastline, warning that Iran is aspiring now to.
What the hell's the name of that one where it's got the guy and the girl, and he wakes her up because I think his pod fucked up or something, and they're like in space and they're going to a planet to like colonize it. But, like, his pod gets fucked up and he wakes her up because he's got, like, a mega crush on her or whatever, that weird-ass movie. That one was weird.
Launch some kind of a retaliatory attack on the U.S. mainland using drones.
I think they
on
will.
The West Coast.
Or they'll try to, at least.
The alert that we reviewed said an uncorroborated.
Honestly, my expectation is that Iran has probably tried to do something like this multiple times in the past, but they've just never succeeded. I don't think this is the first time.
Unidentified Mexican cartel leaders had authorized attacks using drones carrying explosives, so they know that capability exists. Yeah. And this separate alert that we've reviewed, Kira, says that Iran has those same kinds of
Passengers.
No, it's just 3 hours ago.
That's the movie. It's Passengers. That's the movie. But that's not the one I was talking about. I thought Interstellar was this movie. But Passengers is the one that I'm thinking of. But the one I was referencing with the planet that did that weird, funky shit was Interstellar. I thought Interstellar was Passengers. Okay, we're clear now.
So the U.S. has broadly known.
I think that they're showing that,
for some time, that drones could be deployed against the homeland. We know that Iran has been using drones significantly in this 12-day-old war with the United States. That's what killed the first 6 U.S. service members in this war. But now the FBI is specifically warning
police shooter was Iran?
agencies in California along the Pacific coastline that Iran is aspiring to use them to attack in the West.
So why California? Why the West?
Why not? I mean, look at what they did to the areas around Iran. They completely bombed the shit out of neutral people. Of course they're going to try to target us. Why wouldn't they? Like, what do you mean, why? What? What kind of question is that?
Question.
Because it's the closest to the, like, I mean, realistically, I would assume the reason
I didn't even think that she was, I didn't think that that's what she meant. But yeah, it's the closest to Iran. I genuinely didn't think that she was.
Is that they could launch them from some island that's closer nearby, and they could send them over more easily. I mean, that's probably the reason why.
I guarantee you what's going to happen. Don't quote me on this, but they probably already have sleeper cells in California and probably all over the U.S. So what they're most likely going to do is they're going to activate a sleeper cell and tell them to make some drones. And the terrorists are going to be like, you're going to bomb California. and the sleeper cell in California is going to activate, and then they're going to bomb something, and it's a terror tactic. They're not sending over somebody, they're activating people that are here to make it seem like they're sending people over. That's what they're doing. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're sending people over. It could be, for example, a tactic to make you think that America's being invaded. So if Iran, and this could be another thing, these people have mastered the war on terror. They have. If you're going to make it seem like America's being invaded from Iran, well, what would make the most sense? Well, the closest place. So what better than activate sleeper cells, get them to bomb some targets, and then start pushing forward through the U.S.? I mean, like, duh. It's obvious. Now, the real question is are they going to be able to actually pull it off? That's the real question. With the FBI going crazy all over the country right now, finding a bunch of sleeper cells to try and prevent this, it's just a matter of if they can get these people in time, you know?
California is like one of the biggest cities. Like, I mean, New York is harder to hit because it's not on a coastline. Like, they're probably going to do it from the sea. So if they can send in these little vessels from the sea, I mean, I would say California is probably the most substantial thing that they could hit to be terrorists, right?
Iran. What? Iran. What the hell's wrong with you, man? Tell me you're not pro-American, huh? Jesus. That's crazy. Have you even said anything else in chat? That's crazy. It's logical that he was at the for energy. Idiot. Oh, you're just a professional moron. Okay. You're just one of those guys. I got you. Here, let me help you.
I mean, duh.
That's not exactly
California's a city?
Clear, but perhaps there's thought that Iran has these things pre-positioned on ships that are still
England
in
is my
international
city?
waters or that could float through international waters. We know that we've previously reported, Kira, on Iran's desire to perhaps activate sleeper cells in the United States, although
they're already trying. It's just a shame that the people they're trying to activate are fucking idiots.
Certainly far from
well, it's not a shame, it's a good thing. Did I say that? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
It's not clear.
It's a good thing that they're fucking idiots.
As opposed to the East Coast, but that's what the alert from the FBI says.
I really say that.
All right,
that's
Aaron,
weird.
I think
That just
also
kind of came out.
California is the most prosperous and the most economically like powerful country in like the U.S. And so it has like the highest GDP and like the highest like economic level. So it's also the most populated too. So like, I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious that's where.
Well, it was. I'm sure most of them are fucking homeless now.
Going to attack country, guys. Listen,
Just start up the next wildfire. I mean, I'm sure that it'll fix itself, right? Just start up the next wildfire. I mean, how you gonna get over those mountains with all that fire going on, bruh?
I say the wrong.
It's kind of crazy because on that side of the continent, if we just light the forest on fire and we're being invaded, we just automatically win.
words. I say the wrong words. That's what happens.
Wait for him to get in the middle of the California forest and then just light that bitch on fire.
Constantly. Okay? So you're going to have to get used to it. It's a state. I know. It's really bad.
We'll stay on top of it. Thank you
You've got to
so
keep
much.
in mind that, like, I'm reading messages, I'm thinking about something else, I'm watching this video, I'm going to have misfires, okay? And there's going to be a lot of them. So get used to it, guys. Get used to it. Let's see if there's any more about this, too. And I'll see if there's any other examples.
An ABC News exclusive.
Thanks
The
for the
FBI warning police departments across California that Iran could retaliate against the West Coast. This would allegedly be done
dyslexia. I just
using drone
say different
technology.
words.
ABC News has reviewed the alert from the end of February, and the alert said Iran planned to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles.
BLM? What the fuck? BLM? See, that's how you know these motherfuckers are propaganda pushers. They don't even understand anything. Where the fuck do you get BLM? You do realize that Black Lives Matter was a movement for, that fucking schizo that was waving a gun at a pregnant lady? How did you even come to that? How'd that happen, guy? You don't even understand. What is that title? That Black Lives Matter was in fucking Minnesota, guy. That's like the middle of the fucking country. California's on the far left. What you talking about? How'd you even come to that? Wait a minute, hold on. Wait, what? God damn it. Does BLM burn, loot, and murder have to do with this? Sorry, I didn't mean to ban you. My apologies, Jeff F. Hinson. Where is... Sorry about that. I did not mean to do that. I meant to do this. Sorry about that. Wrong person. Brain running on slow right now.
Specifically against California in the event.
I think if this happens, people are going to say that it's a false flag, by the way. Even if it's not a false flag, I think people are going to say that's what's happening, right? I don't know whether it will be or not, but Hassan even, very difficult for me to read this as anything but a potential false flag setup. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I mean, even if it's not, it's pretty easy to tell that Iran would want to bomb the U.S. if they...
It seems like Iran is just... So far, there have been some bomb threats. There was only one actual attempt from what I've seen so far. Now how it's been in the past 24 hours, I don't know. Because usually whenever I get off, I really don't pay that much attention to it because I'm trying to fucking get these videos up. But like, from what I've seen, the two airport like bomb threats have been threats and not much else. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're just so like FUBAR over there in the Middle East that they are grasping at whatever they can get. And I genuinely don't think they understand how America's structure works when it comes to its military and its like people here at home. The military acts independently and the government for the most part acts independently from the FBI and local forces here on American soil. So them threatening a drone strike here isn't going to make the United States Navy turn tail and come back. It's not. Like, no amount of threatening the homeland is going to make the bombing stop. It is going to continue.
Could. I feel
Remember,
like
boys, you get a missile and you get a missile and you get a missile. Everyone gets a missile.
Obvious.
This cargo ship from Thailand on fire. Officials now say 3 crew members are missing, 32 rescued. Several cargo ships in the strait hit by unknown projectiles, according to the British Maritime Authority, Iran claiming responsibility for 2 of those strikes. The strait...
I mean, I hate to break it to you, but if someone tries to invade America from Mexico into Texas, you fucked up. I have 3 firearms within, like, I pull out my tray with my keyboard and there's a gun loaded with the slide locked, ready to go. I don't think you understand that trying to invade through Texas is a bad idea. I know people with 50 caliber BMGs. I don't, or at least I did. He's dead now because he died of old age, but still, I don't think you understand that trying to invade through Texas is probably the stupidest fucking place you can do it. Like, you have Texas connected to Mexico. Like, the safest place would probably be through Canada. Honestly. It would most likely be through Canada. because in California, we could just set the forest on fire. It would be like them trying to invade Russia during winter. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. And then you've got the mountains on the coming in from New York. You've got like big ass mountains. There's no fucking way. Like it would make trying to make a land invasion through like New York damn near impossible with tanks. And then like the only place, because it's like a V straight to Texas, it would be like a funnel into Texas. It would. Like, I don't think you understand the geographics of America and how fucked it is. And then if you end up in like Kansas, you're going to get fucking hit with like 7 tornadoes because those bastards down there don't know how to grow trees. So like
critical passageway for the world's oil supply now essentially closed.
This is one of the pressure points that Iran knew he could use to really force the United States potentially to stop the conflict. They can do this successfully, they're going to stop 20% of the world's
Why would we even need a false
supply.
flag?
There are
The reason why, so this is the idea, is that the government would use the false flag.
I mean, even if they managed to bomb something in California, these people tried to bomb the tallest building in Dubai for like a week and they finally hit it. Do you really genuinely think these people are going to be able to do this successfully? Like, the FBI would be on these people like flies on shit so quick they wouldn't know what to do with them. Whenever the Boston bombings hit, they shut down Boston. They had people rolling up the streets with tanks and military personnel. You understand that we have the National Guard here. So like we have the Army and the Navy over there, but we always have the National Guard here. We have National Guard members that get free rent. They're on like not selective leave, but they're on like temporary leave most of the year. But they're still National Guard because they get free rent. So they show up every weekend and they work out and they do their thing. They go through their boot camp and they're still National Guard. They're ready for deployment at any second in every single corner of every single part of the country. You just because you can threaten us doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't. I mean, look at what happened with the Twin Towers and the Boston bombings. The FBI had done a full recreation of that entire scene in a matter of 24 hours. Like, no, dude, it doesn't matter how much you threaten us. At the end of the day, there's too many people that are willing to do what it takes for this to be over with. We're not doing this for ourselves. We're doing it for the future generations that are going to have to deal with this crazy-ass regime.
As a justification to send troops into Iran. I think that's what they're saying. That's the argument, at least. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying, like, that's what they were saying.
The flow of oil. The U.S. releasing a new video this morning of strikes
like Pearl Harbor.
Iranian
Yeah, just like Pearl
ships,
Harbor.
saying it's destroyed 16 mine-laying vessels near the Strait. The U.S.
So the theory with the Strait and them dropping the mines in that canal is they're trying to cut off some supplies that are going to be coming that go to the Navy ships there. Like, and it also cuts off the supply line with China and the oil. But the thing is that they've already bombed the shit out of those boats that were dropping the mines. And if China was going to get involved, let's be honest here, they probably would have already done that.
You got to keep in mind, too, like the U.S. didn't enter World War II until the end of 1941 because Pearl Harbor was December 7th, 1941. And World War II started in 1939, whenever Hitler took over Poland.
American forces have struck more
so, like, it was already going on basically for like 2 or 3 years.
Inside Iran since the war
How's it
began.
going, guys? How's it going?
11 days ago. U.S. Central Command giving an update this morning.
Every day, we're striking.
Thanks for the Lucky Clover and 4 jewels. I don't know what the fuck that is, man. But thanks for it. I don't know. What is this? Pathetic moron. You do know you can just type that out, right? You do realize that? You can just type this out? You don't have to do this? I mean, you're going to get permit either way, but, like, you can just type it out. No, that's how many American patriots, but let's real. Invasion, we're talking about a terrorist attack that could be committed with a little as 5 people. Weakest argument will always be to join the fight. Hope. No, I wouldn't blow it off either. But they should just realize by now that trying to terrorize America just isn't working. They've tried this for decades. It's not going to work. It never has.
And drones.
The human cost playing out too. In Tehran, thousands gathering in the streets for officials killed in some of the first strikes of the war. Now, to ease some of those concerns, dozens of countries are preparing for the largest release of oil from the strategic reserves ever.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do in order to keep the oil prices lower, obviously, so the terrorists don't effectively create some sort of economic pressure to have people want to let up on them. And I think that's very clearly what's happening. I mean, I'm not
So, here's the deal with the war. There is a good chance, so Congress still has to approve this. Trump has 60 days. He has 60 days to get approval from Congress to stay where he's at in the Iraq war. Just keep in mind that even if Trump is forced to withdraw the troops because he doesn't get approval from Congress, Israel is going to continue to bomb the fuck out of them. And there's a good chance that there's a lot of money that can still be made from this, because we could sell Israel missiles and they can just continue to bomb the shit out of them until it's over. So don't panic if in 60 days or less, America pulls its forces back and ended up in Cuba, okay? Just keep in mind that it's probably because he didn't get approval from Congress. Will it last 60 days? I'm going to be honest, I don't know. Because from everything that I'm hearing, it doesn't really sound like there's much of a force left to surrender. It just doesn't.
Entirely sure, but that's where things are going to me. And so, and they've also been doing more of these. Look at this here. Here we go. It's already said the Mexican cartels are responsible for supplying drones to Iran to attack California. Well, I didn't hear that at all. That's the first time I'm ever hearing it in any capacity. So you make it sound as if the U.S. only entered because of World War II, because of Pearl Harbor. My understanding of it, and I'm not a World War II historian.
I think that's the only reason why we entered. I mean, we were pretty late dragging our feet with a lot of shit, and I think World War I and World War II were definitely those feet dragging moments for sure. But you notice that the minute we got in, for the most part, that shit was cleaned up quick.
But basically, Pearl Harbor gave the necessary and sufficient impetus, because after World War I, the U.S. wanted to be a lot more isolationist, and a lot of people in America didn't want to get involved in World War II. And whenever Pearl Harbor happened, I think that I feel like, wasn't it Winston Churchill that said that, after Pearl Harbor happened, that they said they won the war because they knew America would come and fight?
You know what's crazy? In Pearl Harbor, I want y'all to let this sink in. In Pearl Harbor, they decimated the naval and the aircrafts that we had, and we still managed to get a few fleets out there that were running on fumes when they dropped a lot of those bombs. And a lot of them are dead because they got captured and killed, but a lot of them ended up coming back. So, that mission, hardcore, was insane. The mission to drop those atomic bombs was insane. The Japanese, they just didn't know what the fuck hit them, bro. I think it was Japan, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Japan. So, it kind of, set into motion everything that you need, because you realize that a lot of the Japanese that we had fought, they lived by they would seppuku themselves if they lost ground. Their generals would do themselves in. So these guys would literally give that's why you had kamikaze pilots. They gave their lives to the emperor, right? We managed to scare these people so bad with those bombs, they surrendered. And now they're probably one of our best allies. That's how bad we scared them with those atomic bombs. Let that sink in. These guys would do themselves in if they were losing ground on the battlefield. They would take grenades and they would unlatch them and they would run at American soldiers. That's how crazy these guys were.
It galvanized the U.S. population? Yeah, it did. Pearl Harbor was the push? Yeah. Like, I mean, definitely, I mean, maybe the U.S. would have gotten involved later on. I mean, who knows? But, like, Pearl Harbor definitely set it in motion. Historian here, you're correct. It was the trigger. Yeah, that's my understanding of it, right? But I could be wrong. And I'm sure it's probably, like, it's multifaceted like everything is.
And now to Operation Epic Fury, the U.S. pounding Iranian warships as the regime retaliates against its neighbors across the region.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yinks joins us live from Tel Aviv with the latest. Good morning, Trey.
They're already involved? They provide resources?
Yeah, Lawrence, good morning.
I think so,
another
yeah.
sleepless night here in Tel Aviv as air raid sirens blared across the city 4 separate times.
Pearl Harbor's a false flag? No, Pearl Harbor was a strike on America that galvanized Americans into being willing to engage in a foreign war. That's what the comparison. The false flag part was just a coincidence.
Bomb shelters, many missiles intercepted
relevant.
overhead as the Israelis and the Americans continue to degrade the Iranian regime and their ability to launch
I saw
these
people
types
saying it
of
in chat
attacks
too.
against Israel and regional Gulf countries. We have some aftermath inside of Iran showing you some of the damage, not only around the capital of Tehran, but other areas. There is a concerted effort by the Americans and the Israelis to degrade Iran's ability to respond with attacks, including ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones. Now, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke today about the ongoing success of this operation.
IRS. Interesting that Iran is under W regime, just as America now is. What the hell does that even mean, man? What regime is America under? What does that even mean? This comment is confusing, bruh. They are no longer a USA ally based on trade wars and tariffs. Vile people, Asman and Wade, the children dead, more normal folk dead than others vile. Why are they going to war again? Wasn't he supposed to be in the new wars? President FFS? What the fuck are you even talking about, man? What the hell are you even talking about? You crazy. Half this shit doesn't even make any fucking sense. It's like so vague that I can't even interpret what the fuck you're saying.
We are in a campaign against a cruel enemy
your
that wants to
medicine, dude.
destroy us.
You need to take your medicine.
Surprise.
Nuclear and ballistic capabilities in Operation Rising Lion. Afterwards, instead of learning the lesson, they tried to redevelop them and bury them deep underground in such a way that we can no longer target them.
The Israelis are looking east. They're also looking north at the Iran-backed Lebanese militant group.
You know what's crazy? So something kind of like I've been thinking about this all day and night. Because whenever I said, you know, the Ayatollah, enjoy that missile up your ass, rotten hell, right? And someone was in my comments yesterday that I saw, I should have pulled them up, was like, how could you wish death on somebody? Do you feel the same way about Hitler? And then I thought about it, right? I thought about this yesterday. I thought about this all fucking day yesterday because it was really eating at me. I don't know why. I usually don't give a fuck. But then I thought about it more. And I was like, you know, I bet Hitler would blush if he knew exactly how many people by proxy the Ayatollah had killed. Because you realize that the Nazi regime was only around for a few years. The Ayatollah has been around for 47 years. Think about how many people this man has either contributed to or killed himself. Think about that. Like, I've heard stories that they used, like, in their religion, if you, something to do with, you know, if a virgin does the deed, they don't go to heaven, they go to hell, right? So they would, like, the women in prison and then kill them. And it's like, what the fuck? That's crazy shit. How could you possibly support that? And then they like, openly celebrate underage marriage to boot. Like, it's crazy how you could possibly support that regime. They're fucking crazy, dude. Like, it's no wonder why the Iranian people don't want anything. And then, like, now even yesterday, I wasn't able to get around to the video, but they had already made another announcement that, like, IRGC and the local police were already making announcements in Iran saying that they would kill any counter-protesters, that they need to stay indoors. It's crazy, dude. Like, how? I bet Hitler would probably be blushing right now.
Hezbollah, some new strikes there overnight targeting individuals linked not only to Hezbollah but also the IRGC. We know that according to the IDF, they have moved a brigade, the Golani Brigade that was inside Gaza, to the northern border in preparation for more offensive actions against Hezbollah. A top spokesperson for the Israeli military talking about...
I could see Israel like sending ground troops into Lebanon.
But where I was going with that is, like, how could you say you don't advocate for the death? Like, if the minute you say like a Nazi, people online have been claiming that, you know, a lot of the America First people were Nazis, and now I've seen like a huge dial back on that, and it's for obvious reasons. It's because whenever you're just calling people this name, it doesn't mean the name has no more meaning. So it's like, but you don't want to advocate for the death of anybody, but you call them Nazis so you can dehumanize them and make it okay for something to happen to them. Like, where did, like, it's a hypocrisy. It is. They're too busy trying to chase their own tail with their own their own, like, virtue signaling ideologies that they don't even realize they're chasing their own tail.
Really see that happeing.
It's crazy.
If Lebanon doesn't try to get Hezbollah under control, I think that's where things might go.
About this operation.
In recent days, we have identified that Hezbollah is trying to increase the firing towards northern communities and expand the range of fire to additional areas in the country. Hezbollah is taking heavy blows. We are deepening the damage to its capabilities with each passing day and increasing the pressure on it.
Do you think Iran
We're tracking a lot of developments here,
so.
not just from Lebanon, but also in Iran this week. There were pro-regime demonstrations. You can see people here chanting in support of Mojtaba Khamenei, the new supreme leader of Iran. What you're not seeing in the streets of Iran right now is the anti-regime demonstrations, because there is...
Why not?
I wonder why. It's a mystery, isn't it?
Real concern about another crackdown against those civilians. We know earlier...
It's because it's illegal, and they said on state TV that they will kill you if you protest against them. Wow. There's nobody out there protesting against the regime. Yeah, because they'd get killed. Duh.
This year, an estimated 32,000 people were killed in those protests. Guys?
Well, Trey, what did Netanyahu mean when he said to the Iranian people, in the coming days...
So just milk, because that looks like what you're just trying to say. Who's the war criminals? You criticize Iran, yet you stand by two war criminals. You need to look at credible sources before making rumors. I'm not making rumors. But how is it that... Who's the war criminals? I'm confused. I'm very, very curious. Who's the war criminals? Well, I mean, vague posting isn't exactly being forward, so, like, no, it's not obvious. Inform us. Inform us who's the war criminal. We want to know. Like, we all want to know. I mean, if you're getting pulled up and you feel so strongly about it, then why are you trying to hide it? Just say it. Whoops, hold on. The fuck is Bibi? Oh, you mean Israel? Well, it's funny that you say that, because didn't Israel, the whole reason why the Iron Dome exists is because Iran just couldn't stop bombing the fuck out of them, so they had to make it? And I think that it's funny that you call these two people war criminals whenever the regime that ruled over Iran for 47 years openly killed 32,000 people when they protested, and they've been helping fund terrorists all over the Middle East for years. So much so that Iranian people are starving and dying of thirst because they're not getting any of the money they're working for. It's all being taken from them and giving to terrorist regimes. So who's really the war criminal here? Think about how much money America has spent trying to solve this issue, and how many years America has spent losing U.S. troops to this issue. Like 47 of them. 47 years we've been dealing with this. 47. And you know what's crazy is Trump tried to make a deal with that guy. He did. He tried for days, tried for almost 2 weeks. Guy refused to come to the table. He refused to come to the table. Big surprised, he got a missile shoved up his ass. Maybe next time they'll wheel and deal.
The coming days will bring opportunity to free yourselves.
Fuck Israel.
Like, you want to call Trump a war criminal. You want to call Israel a war criminal. These guys trying to bomb buildings using drones in Dubai, they literally launched so many missiles at people around them that were neutral to Iran that are now wanting to get a piece of them. Who the fuck? Who's the real war criminal here? At least we're not bombing people that didn't deserve it. Shit.
Attacking civilians in Beirut, not military? Well, they're attacking a paramilitary force that's posing as civilians, and they're using civilian infrastructure to shoot rockets and do military actions against Israel. I think that if you're criticizing Israel for bombing Hezbollah, you should actually be criticizing Hezbollah for using civilians as human shields. They're the ones that are the terrorists that are indiscriminately launching missiles over to Israel with no sort of reasoning whatsoever other than just shooting them over there. It's ridiculous.
Working on some reporting on this specific topic right now, but there are clearly things going on behind the scenes that indicate the Americans and the Israelis want to empower the Iranian civilians who are against this brutal regime to go to the streets once again. We don't know exactly when that will happen.
If all they bombed was military bases in those countries, then why are the governments of those regimes advocating for this now? You do realize that these guys fucked up so hard, the IRGC fucked up so bad that America could leave right now and the countries around them would get involved. You understand that what they did to the geopolitical powers around them by bombing them alienated them. They went from neutral to aggressive towards them. Everyone wants a piece of Iran now because of what they did to the surrounding areas. You understand that, right? Even Iraq wants a piece of them. You fucked up if you got Iraq wanting a piece of you, man. Like, but an act of war is bombing somebody. I mean, let's be honest here. But you do realize that just because you think you can get away with having a proxy terrorism, like groups, that's still an act of war. You do realize that, right? Just because you have somebody that's quote unquote the supreme leader that is sending terrorist regimes money to destabilize governments around them, that's still an act of war, right? It's just a different version of the definition. Sounds to me like you mauled out because you got caught. That's what it sounds like. That's genuinely what it sounds like. Bro, as Middle Eastern, you have zero knowledge. Oh, man. Oh, darn, he got banned. Oh, just saying that somebody has no knowledge, it doesn't really help anything, does it?
Or if the conditions will remain
another emotional
in a way
argument
that would allow them to go to the streets and not.
I love that. I love that. It's wrong. You didn't do it right. You didn't drop that can. It never happened. But I just dropped. No, it never happened. It doesn't. Nope. That's the mentality. How do you don't argue with that mentality. You purge it. Bye-bye.
Be killed by security forces.
Can't use them as shields and then cry when they die. Exactly. Well, that's the strategy.
Yes, sir. This is the reason why you have schools next to military bases. Why else would you have a school where children go next to a military base in a country that feeds terrorism?
Another emotional
in a way
argument
that would allow them to go to the streets and not be killed by security forces. But
can't use them as shields and then cry when they die. Exactly. Well, that's the strategy they use, is that they use these people as human shields, and then whenever they get hit and these people die, then they act like victims, and a bunch of stupid Westerners believe that we're going around slaughtering civilians, when meanwhile they're the ones that are slaughtering their own civilians, and whenever they're not slaughtering their own civilians, they're trying to kill the civilians in other countries, and they're using their own civilians as shields from any sort of repercussions from it.
Based. Look at that. Isn't it a beautiful thing? It's almost like I just said that. Huh.
As a result of Operation Epic Fury, many of the people responsible for the crackdown on protesters have been taken out, and the besieged forces and
I love that. Hold on. We got somebody that thinks they know something in chat. Now we got to get this. Oh, I've been waiting for it all morning. I'm so happy. You're the first moron I'm going to pull up. You're the first one I'm going to pull up. Well, the first one I'm going to pull up and ask a question. Hold on. Your president grapes kids, dude, chill. Yeah, he's nothing about region. No, they actually hate the U.S. So is that directed towards Trump? I would assume that's directed towards Trump. But you've been vocal for a little bit now, so there shouldn't be a reason for you to type, right? I would assume that's directed towards Trump. But let's find out. Is that towards Trump? I certainly hope it's not. Oh, he's quiet now. What happened? Did you roach out on me? Now tell me you roached out on me. Damn, that sucks. He roached out, I guess. So, if he was referring to Trump, you should know that the Iranian regime believes in underage marriage, and it's openly celebrated. So whenever I see something like this, it blows my mind because you either don't know what the fuck you're talking about, or you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because you can't even use this as an argument, because we don't know if Trump would, like, he's in the files 35,000 times or however bullshit, but there's nothing condemning yet that we know of. So we can't really make that connection, but we do know that in Iran, they openly celebrate child marriage. It's openly celebrated. So, like, if you're gonna make a comment, at least have some general information on what the hell you're saying, because this is not a defense. I'm gonna ban you because you roached out and you didn't answer. Go take your pills and have a good day.
RGC headquarters in Tehran
Obviously,
have been destroyed in this operation, and so these heavy blows will continue to be inflicted on the Iranian regime, and we can expect an increase in strikes throughout the day today and even into tonight.
Trey, your reporting that you started off with when it comes to that brigade that was on the Gaza border from Israel, is that a ground force that's making its way?
Yes, it is, Lawrence. It's a.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
That's new. That's definitely new. Holy shit.
See, I don't know why Trump just doesn't let the Kurds go in there and clean up these streets, man. Seriously.
I agree, but how's that different when it comes to Gaza? I have no idea. I mean, if you want me to be honest, the Palestine-Gaza argument, like, I don't, it's not relevant or important.
Oh man, every time I look over at the comments, I just see another one. I just see another one, bro. I just can't, and I can't not address it. You gotta weed them out when they pop in. You just gotta weed them out when they pop in. Where's it at? It was a purple name. I don't know where it went. Where'd it go? Is it this guy? Is it you? I know it was a purple name. Got immunity from Epstein. But you're making accusations. That's defamation. If you don't have any actual proof, what you're saying is defamation. If you were lived in America, you would know that that's defamation. Defamation. That's what that is. And that's a good way to get fucking sued. It's all alleged. And here it is, right here. Patrick Shaw. LOL, the U.S. is losing the war. So, where are you consuming your media that America is losing this war? Because I'm curious. I'm very curious. Where are you hearing that information from? I need to know. I gotta know. Obviously, I'm misinformed. So you should tell me where you got that information. So that way you can inform the rest of us. I mean, clearly, you've been vocal about it. I mean, we know since America's losing the war, I wanna know, where you got that information from. You know, maybe I can get like some like breaking news out of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, clearly, you know something that the FBI and the Fox News and MSNBC, CNN, you know something that no one else does. I mean, like, where'd you get that information? I mean, surely you have some actual proof to back that, right? No, it's defamation anytime you say something that is not real and you get on social media and you start spreading rumors like this. It's defamation. That's what it is. If you're saying something that is not true and people pick up on that and they start saying it, they're going to trace the source and it's going to come back and it's going to be you and you're going to be charged with defamation. That's what it is. You can get sued for doing that. I guess he roached out. Another one, huh? I love how these people just spread misinformation, and then the minute you hold them accountable, they just fucking flee like rats. Like, it's like you turn the lights on and the roaches scatter. You know what I'm saying? It's not in America. In America. Da, 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 da. Where's it at? No, nothing. You're not gonna address the whole, like, what about where are you getting this information? Like, I don't really care about the whole defamation thing. I don't really care about that, but where's this information? No, nothing. Oh shit, whoops. No? Nothing? Okay. Well, we're just gonna ban you. Hide user. Iran, we win. Well, if you winning, then why aren't you winning? Why aren't you winning?
Important to me who's right or who's wrong. I just feel bad for the people that are in Gaza that are getting killed. That's really about it. I'm not trying to argue about who's right and who's wrong in that conflict. It's a Middle Eastern war that's been going on for decades, if not hundreds of years, and I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Ground force, the Golani
It's really
Brigade
the truth.
was...
Oh man, I ain't never gonna get through this video, am I? Ah damn, bruh. Okay, I'm avoiding your comments. Alright. What am I avoiding? Well, whatever you said in this, it's bad enough that YouTube stopped it. I agree, it isn't a war, it's an annihilation. This is more like a conflict than a war. Look at this creature. That's what we're doing. You can't attack the argument, so you're just going to attack me. That'll really help out your cause. You know? That's great. That's crazy. Huh. America has into occupy and murder. I can't even engage with this because I've already I've already, but you don't want to talk about the genocide that happened with 32,000 people getting slaughtered when they turned off the internet. You don't want to talk about all the terrorist attacks that have happened on Americans for 47 years. You're just gonna go with that, huh? Man. Jeez. We really got to turn off the internet for stupid people.
One of the...
Sorry.
You could describe them as the tip of the spear for the Israelis when they were entering on the ground to fight
I think that Hamas
inside
does use...
Gaza. We met many of these soldiers throughout the course of the war, and they are trained ground fighters. They have the ability to go into Lebanon deeper if the Israelis make that decision. Right now, we know there are tanks and troops deployed in southern Lebanon. Over the weekend, two Israeli soldiers were actually killed by Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. I didn't even know that.
Well, we got another person that has insider information on what's going on, guys. Gonna keep lying, little boy? Well, that's crazy, because I'm 31 years old. I just turned 31 in January. Gonna keep lying, little boy. Well, where's your source? Republicans clearly can't think we're losing? Who's this we're? Where's your information? Do you have any information? Do you have a site? Do you have anything? Any kind of fucking information to prove what you're saying is true? That America is losing. Do you have any? Do you have a site? Do you have a YouTube video? Do you have a fucking social media thing? Where are you getting this information? Where is this information coming from? I keep asking you people this, but I keep getting either a roach out where no one is talking, or be honest and go, bro, get real. The fuck are you talking about, guy? But you're not even answering the question. It's the same bullshit with all the people that are pulled up. None of you guys have a single good argument. I want, a good turn-based PvP battle. And you guys are just so fucking stupid that you can't even come up with a good, argument. It's just so brain dead, man. Oh, Lord. Obviously not that. I love how you're just you bring up you try to get people just a little bit informed, and then you have that one person in the back of the room that's going, no, no, no! And you're just like, sir, do you have something to say? No! And then shut the fuck up, dude.
Difficult terrain to operate in.
Wow.
Again, an indication of why they are moving the Golden Brigade, a brigade that has this fighting experience.
So, Trey, a little bit of analysis and mixing with reporting with this question. Why do you think the Arab Gulf states, I just saw today, Saudi Arabia stops ballistic missiles aimed at Prince Sultan Air Base. We saw the UAE been targeted again yesterday. At what point
How dare you trust the social media and a person that's covered it since day one? How dare you, you fucking liar! Come on, guys. Jesus fucking Christ.
Standing up for themselves and hitting back.
Okay, well, what's your source? Ooh! Come on.
Do you think the U.S. and Israeli forces would like them to do that?
Fuck!
This is another great question, and I want to be careful with my reporting here. I'm also working on a story about this, but there are conversations happening behind the scenes about possible involvement of Gulf states. They understand they're taking a massive amount of ballistic missile fire and drone attacks against not...
I'm actually surprised that more countries haven't started helping, like bombing Iran. I feel like it's very obvious where the problem
I guarantee you the reason why they haven't been helping bomb Iran, it's a lot like the Kurds trying to invade, is that Trump and Israel doesn't want them to to invade because they could be caught in the crossfire and inadvertently cause a war with another country. So it looks like it's Israel and America running the show, and the other forces want to make sure they don't step on anyone's toes, so they're waiting to get word if they're allowed to. Because you have to realize that there's a good chance that if one of those countries bombs a city and a lot of people end up getting killed, that America's going to turn on them. We have been tactically striking their military targets since this has started. We don't want to hurt the Iranian people. We want to take out this regime. We want to take out their military. Don't want to hurt the civilians. That's not our goal. It's more about the IRGC and their military. That's what we're aiming for. And if you have these other countries just throwing missiles everywhere, well, you're going to run into a lot of fucking problems.
Is coming from. Like when you have Iran that's funding terrorism all around the world and they're also bombing everybody constantly, same. I think also one of the reasons why is they're afraid of like kind of repercussions and like Iran bombing them. That's probably the main reason. But I do like, I think that Europe should be helping us a lot more than they are. That's my opinion. I think it's embarrassing that they're not. And I think that for places like in the UK, I think the reason why they're not.
You know, I agree with that comment. But I have a counter argument to that. It says here, people that think war is only about attrition would say we're winning, but changing the way people think and live is more difficult. I agree with that. My counter argument to that is that whenever we fought Japan, they had kamikaze pilots, people that are willing to die for the emperor. They threw all that shit out the window when we dropped 2 atomic bombs on them and it vaporized their families, and all they saw left was the shadows. You can easily advocate for a regime to be, I want to die for my emperor. Okay. The emperor is willing to die for his cause. Okay. But how many emperors are you willing to go through before the next emperor says, I'm not willing to die? That's the mentality that we're running with. If you can change a group like Japan, you can change anyone in the world. They got so fucking scared of America, they're one of our greatest allies now.
Not is they're trying not to alienate their radical Islamic people that live in the country already, which I think is just embarrassing. It's pathetic.
Just U.S. military targets in their countries, but also the civilian population there. And so certainly this is a consideration. I've also been talking with Gulf sources.
You have to keep in mind that happened almost 50 or 60 years ago. You realize that we have bombs now that will make those bombs look like a fucking firecracker. Even Russia has bombs that will make those look like a fucking firecracker. We are going so easy on this place, it's not even funny. We have fucking lasers on our gunships now. There was a video circulating yesterday of some kind of weird new, like, weapon that lit up the night sky like the sun was rising. We don't even know what the fuck that is, but we using it.
And they say there is a red line. We're trying to understand what that red line is as these attacks unfold. But the fact that we're seeing drone attacks and missile attacks against cities like Doha, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai, these are areas where international tourists go. We know there were thousands of Americans.
Well, you have to realize that American technology is beyond Fallout now. There's a good chance that we have bombs that split the atom that don't leave radiation. I've heard hearsay that we have bombs that no longer leave radiation and are 5 times stronger than any it's like the Tazar bomb that Russia dropped. I believe it. I do.
Citizens earlier in this war that had just been vacationing there. These are countries that are not used to taking this type of incoming fire, very different from Israel.
It's brutal.
And so those conversations are taking place and considerations
And I think that's the reason why they're not doing it. It's because they don't have the same infrastructure to repel attacks.
Underway about more involvement.
That's actually the main reason
not just
why.
Defensive, but also offensive capabilities.
It would be a game changer.
Yeah, I know. And you know what I thought about? We interviewed someone, was it the lady we interviewed? She was stuck, she was an American, she was stuck in Dubai. And I instantly thought, like, these drone attacks are happening where a lot of Americans are not able to leave. Have the Americans who have wanted to get out, have they been allowed to get out now?
I feel like they have been. That's right. Yeah,
absolutely. Tens of thousands of Americans have been able to leave the Middle East as a result
I got the fuck out. The other ones besides that, like places like in Europe, etc.
Down.
Also, there have been 100.
They are considered cheap but deadly underwater weapons
Let's
designed
move on
to
from this one. We got a bunch more to cover.